Hello, hello. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're live. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to hashtag TNT JoeFi Tech News that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. This is episode something something because I lost count. This is also day something something in quarantine because I lost count. And today is Wednesday, July 29th. Oh my God, it's almost August. Where did the summer go? It went nowhere because there was like no summer this year. I mean, there's a summer obviously, but just like a very empty summer. That's what it feels like for me. Anyway, we have kind of a good amount of news today. We'll go and discuss and we'll talk about it. But let me say hi to the people in chat so far. For now, Paul is in here finally. First again, what's going on, Paul? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. And Brian is here as well. What up? What up? What's going on, Brian? How you doing, man? Welcome, welcome. So I don't know if people are we have a small crowd today, and if that's how it's going to be, that's how it's going to be, and I'm fine with that. But maybe I'll take a minute and I'll let stragglers come in if they do decide to come in. So maybe what I'll do is I'll talk about what I have today as far as we'll call it the news queue. So obviously you saw in the thumbnail, we're going to talk about the Galaxy Z Fold 2. And then I have a couple stories about the Galaxy Note 20. The OnePlus 8T having display issues. Brian actually forwarded this story to me as well about pricing for the iPhone 12. The LG Velvet with another chipset, which is now the third chipset. I just talked about this yesterday about the LG Velvet coming with a Snapdragon 845 chipset, and now there's reports that there might be a new chipset getting put on there. Which is weird. And then some stuff about the OnePlus Nord and Google, Samsung, Google Assistant, and Bixby. Yeah. So I don't know how much I'm going to get through today, but we'll go ahead and we'll get started. So the first story that I have here is from The Verge, and it's talking about the Galaxy Z Fold 2. I will be honest with you guys. I don't know much about this phone. I really haven't put too much time and effort into folding phones or really reading about it because like I'm interested in a way. I'm interested in terms of its technology and what it can bring. But at the same time, I just don't want to spend the money on a phone like this. And maybe in the future, when it gets cheaper and I see a real reason for two displays, but for now it's not really a top priority for me, but I thought I'd share it since we got a little sneak peek leak. Hey, that rhymed. A sneak peek leak. So Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 2 leak shows off hole punch cameras and a bigger external display. Hold on. Shows off hole punch cameras? I thought there was only one camera. Maybe it's just titled weird. So Samsung's upcoming, let me make this bigger, sorry. Here we go. Samsung's upcoming Galaxy Z Fold 2 has just gotten its biggest leak yet, showing off the revamped design for the company's flagship foldable successor, which it's expected to announce at the upcoming Galaxy Unpacked event on August 5th, alongside the Galaxy Note 20. When is August 5th? So Wednesday. All right, so next week. The new renders show off a vastly improved design with a hole punch camera replacing the large corner notch for the internal camera and a new full-size display on the outside of the phone instead of the tiny screen on the original. So am I assuming this right? This is actually going to have 3 screens? That's kind of crazy. So one screen, well, 2 screens here, and then so I actually have another picture here, or at least other picture renders or whatever. So it's going to have these 2 screens on the inside, and it's going to have a full screen on the front. Am I right in assuming that? That's crazy. 3 screens. If I'm reading that correctly. Okay, so earlier rumors put those displays at 7.7 inches for the internal foldable display and 6.23 inches for the outside panel, compared to 7.3 and 4.6 inch displays on the original. Hold on. So 7.7 inch, is that per display? Is that saying that this is 7.7 inch and then this is 7.7 inch? This is a gigantic phone. Jesus. Okay. I'm assuming that's what the specs are supposed to be. Visible on the back of the phone is a new triple camera system that matches the design on the leaked Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. So this triple camera array or whatever. The Galaxy Z Fold 2 is also expected to upgrade the internal processor to the latest Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset, so a better chipset than the previous Galaxy S20, S20 Ultra. You know, instead of just the 865, it's going to have an 865 Plus, along with a 4356 milliamp hour battery and 15-watt wireless charging. Am I crazy, or is a 4,300 milliamp hour battery small when you're trying to power 3 displays? That's wow. I mean, you want to talk about something different. I mean, this is obviously different. 3 displays is like 3 full displays. Let's be real. It's a much bigger upgrade than last year's Galaxy Z Fold 1 or whatever. Okay. So Max Weinberg here, posted this leak. Looked like somebody took this with a potato phone, probably a OnePlus. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Please don't get mad at me. But yeah, the Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G, and that's not a mouthful to say. That's why my my thumbnail was like the Galaxy Z Fold 2 Plus Max XQJ 9000, so on and so forth. So to continue on, they're just talking about this other article here from My Smart Price. I think this is the site that leaked it. Talks about this phone and what it's going to be coming with, and we're talking August, what did I say, August 5th or whatever it is, a week from now, when we're going to hear about this. Is anybody here going to spend the money on this phone? How much is this phone going to cost? $1,200 starting, $1,400, $1,600? Would you rather buy this phone, or would you rather buy like a new laptop? I just can't. Oh my God. Oh, here we go. As for the price, Samsung. As for the price, Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G is said to cost It's only 1980. It's not that expensive. It's only about $2,000, which is pretty much what the first generation Galaxy Fold cost at the time of launch. Oh my god. I can't even imagine shelling out that much money for a first gen Galaxy Z Fold. So this is going to have 5G and it's going to have like a bigger display. I mean, it's cool as far as the tech that comes with it. I just can't see myself spending money on a phone like this at that price point. I also don't need to carry around 3 screens with me. I just don't see the point in having that many. I mean, and I'm not trying to hate, like, more power to you if you actually need to use 3 screens at once. For me, I would be that guy on, well, I can't get on the train right now, or I'd rather not, but it would be funny to be on the train and just show off that I have 3 full screens. I'd be like I'd just be like, yeah, here we go. I can't do it right, but you know what I'm saying. And then flip the screen over and it's like, okay, all right, someone's trying to flex here. So I do have a couple more stories though about Samsung. So we're gonna just break into those real quick, and before I get back into chat. But this article from GSM Arena is talking about how the Note 20 family is coming with an improved version of the Exynos 990. There has been a lot of like back and forth about how, I think it's just, I don't know if it's just Europe or Asia as well. I believe so. I think the US is the only um country that gets the Snapdragon variant of Samsung's phone. So like the Samsung Galaxy S20 gets the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset, while in the UK and I think in Asia they get, what is it? Is it the Exynos 9? It's not the 990, right? They get a different version, isn't it? But apparently the Note 20 is getting, yeah, an improved version of this Exynos 990. So most of what we've heard so far is related to the Snap 865 Plus version of the Samsung Note 20 lineup. And now we have some good news regarding the markets, which will get the Exynos 990 powered variant. So in quote, I hope everyone understands this. The Exynos 990 on Note 20 series is an improved version with better optimization than the Snapdragon version and runs just as cool and just as fast as the Snapdragon. It's like an Exynos 990 Plus. Samsung will also market the Exynos 990 model as better. What I was trying to say earlier is there has been a lot of issues with this Exynos chipset. Apparently, it's inferior to the Snapdragon 865 this time around, but this article or whoever is saying this is saying that this new improved version of the Exynos 990 will either be on par or better than the upcoming Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset, which, for those that don't know, is the top tier chipset right now in the Android world, because we all know that Apple dominates that market when it comes to raw performance there. But Qualcomm, the Snapdragon 865 Plus for Android, is the fastest chipset, I believe, that you can get right now, or you can get soon, because I don't know if the 865 Plus is available just yet. The new report claims that Samsung has made big optimizations to improve the heat management, power efficiency, and overall performance. In fact, the Korean tech giant will actively include the improvements to the Exynos 990 Plus in its marketing. I don't know. Can you believe it? I have no idea. We don't know if this is really going to be what they say it is until like people actually get this phone and test it out. So before I get back into chat, I want to talk about this article from Slash Gear. This was yesterday, actually. Or the other day, I didn't have time to cover it. But the Galaxy Note 20 price leak is jaw-dropping, but not in a good way. This isn't surprising. It doesn't surprise me at all. Pretty much, is it going to be expensive? Yes. Are you going to be paying up the ass for it? Yes, most likely. As usual, Samsung may have nothing left to announce come August when it unveils the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra, blah, blah, blah. I just want to get into the prices here. So the Galaxy Note 20 starts at 1,000 euros. I did a little quick searching, I think, and I believe 1,000 euros is around 1,100 US. And that's for the 4G model with 256 gigs of internal storage. So if you don't want 5G and you want the Note 20, you're going to be paying at least $1,100 US for it. The same configuration with 5G tacked on jumps to 1,100 euros, which I think is like 1,300 US. The naturally more expensive Note 20 Ultra 5G starts at 14 or 1,350 euros for 256 gigs. And then twice that capacity will sell for 1,450 euros. And I did the math on that, and that was, I believe, $1,700. Which, yeah, these $400 to $500 phones sound so much more appealing when you know you have to fork out over $1,500 for a phone. It's just a lot of money for a phone, and how much difference it makes compared to a $400 or $500 phone is it worth it to some people? I don't think it's really worth it, but that's subjective. I mean, if you want the best of the best, and you know, if your pockets are just lined with money because I don't know what you do for a living, but if you make that much money and you have money to spend, then hey man, you do what you want to do with your money. Even more disappointing is the case of the Note 20. While the equivalent Galaxy S20 did start at around the same price range, it's arguably a more feature-filled smartphone as well. Based on recent leaks, the Galaxy Note 20 sounds more like a light version that may have some buyers wondering if it's really worth that price tag. Oh, so they're saying just the base Note 20 with 4G isn't going to be anything special, and why would you spend that much money on it anyway? That's a lot of money, guys. I think I would rather spend my money on other things than that. So anyway, let me go ahead and go back into chat here. Let me say hi to everyone else that's come in. Welcome everybody, by the way. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Karen Hope is here. I'm in. What's going on, Karen? Nice to see you in chat again. Karen and I were actually speaking not too long ago. You know, he had messaged me and we were just chatting a bit. So yeah, actually Karen was showing me a screenshot. His Mate 30, was it Mate 30 or Mate 30 Pro? Either way, he ended up getting 11 hours of screen on time, which is ridiculous. But Huawei family, Huawei squad, right? Karen, welcome, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Paul Hendrick says 8T. Actually, I think I have a story on the 8T. Yeah. Oh, is that why you said it? Because I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, we're going to talk about the 8T. We're not really going to talk about the 8T, but like, you know, a couple rumors here and there. Team Varai is here. Hey, everyone. Hey, Team Varai, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Paul says, not out yet and already display issues. Yeah, we're going to talk about, actually, where is that in my story here? I thought it's later, but we'll talk about it. Y 2019 is in here as well. Hi, Y. What's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Team Verizon says, still not convinced with the durability of folding screens in the long run, but the tech is amazing and I want to see where it further goes. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think the one thing that I'm more curious about than anything else with foldable displays is how good, well, yeah, like you said, is the durability of that folding screen, like the hinge, and like how much abuse can it take before it actually starts to wear out. I feel like that is going to take some time, I think, for them to really get right. I mean, more moving parts means more things that can break, and that's the nice thing about having just a regular, like, square phone that's just one screen, because it's less things that breaks. And we all know that the phones tend to have some issues, some companies more so than others, when it comes to build quality and quality control. So I would imagine if you are trying to buy a phone that has foldable technology, it would be hard to buy one from a company that has maybe questionable quality control. Like if Google were to create something called the Pixel Fold and release it this year, I would be like, I bet you one of these screens is going to go bad. Google. Can't ever have a stream without talking about them. Anyway, Team Rye says, Jerome, you mentioned Max Weinberg. Yeah, Max Weinberg. That's his name, right? Max Weinberg, just like John Processor and Carl Paypie. Yeah, Max Weinberg, the drummer for Conan's show for Bruce Springsteen. Jay Mill's in here. What's good, Rome? Not much, Jay Mill. Nice to see you, man. It's been a minute. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Nice to catch you on here. Let me see here. Jay Mill says I might get the next Galaxy Fold. Man, you got deep pockets, huh? You'd be. Oh wait. The Fold. Wait, is this what I was? Yeah, I was talking about the Fold. I get confused with the Flip and the Fold and the Flagen. Man. You want to lend me some money? You want to buy me a Fold too, J Mill? Let me know. No, I'm just messing with you. J Mill, welcome, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Brian says, don't worry, Jerome. Dave Lee eviscerated the OnePlus cameras in his last video. Yeah, I heard you guys talking about that. And yeah, maybe that's why I just poked fun. But you guys know how I feel about OnePlus cameras anyway. I mean, I've done a good amount of camera comparisons, and like they're serviceable. I feel like that's my nice word when I want to say something and just be like, it's not the best. And I don't want to talk too much about it. So I'll just say it's serviceable, meaning like it's fine. It'll get you by, but it's not the best. Okay. Anyway, let me scroll down here. I see Sean in here. Sean, what's going on, man? What up, Jerome? What up, Sean? What up, chat? Sean, nice to see you, man. Sean says, have you guys seen Congress testify with Google, Amazon? No, actually, I wanted to kind of actually go into that and talk about it. I have a lot of feelings about that, and I don't know. Maybe I'll save that for another day. But you know, the one thing I wanted to talk about big companies when it comes to stuff like that is I think about TikTok. Right? We all know TikTok. We all know TikTok is this big company that has like now the social media platform is gigantic and huge. And do you know how TikTok got to be as big as it is? Do you think they just got there by luck? No, not at all. Did they get there by just having a couple smart engineers put out like a viral app? No. TikTok got to where it's at by money, spending money on marketing. Billions of dollars in marketing, maybe not billions, but hundreds of millions over the last 2 years. It's up there. It's up there. And I mean, like I know personally because I've worked with TikTok personally. You know, I've been to their headquarters, and like it's insane how much money that this company has. And that's also the power. Actually, you know what? Did I have that story here? I had a story. Yeah, I did. So actually, we'll break into that real quick. And sometimes it's like the gist of what I was trying to say about TikTok is this the only way you can compete now into getting into the market of either a social media platform or just trying to be relevant in terms of an app? Is you have to have big money to market it. And if you don't have that big money, then too bad, so sad. We'll just let the big players like Google, like Amazon, like Facebook, take it into their own hands. So actually, that'll be, you know what? Before I get back into chat here, let's break into this really quick. So I have the story here. Thank you, Sean, for segueing me here. I have this article here from 9 to 5 Google that says Google is negotiating to give Assistant Play Store more prominence on Samsung devices. From what I've read or what I've skimmed through, Google is trying to work with Samsung right now to tell Samsung, drop Bixby, drop it. Like, don't use Bixby anymore. Let's pay you some money to use Google Assistant instead. Back in my day, back in my more like Google everything day, I would have said this is an absolutely great idea. Like, nobody uses Bixby, which is true. I don't want to use Bixby. But this is one company flexing their money saying, hey, let's just quietly get you to stop using Bixby and let's get you to use Assistant instead, because it'll benefit Google as a company by people using more things in our ecosystem. And Samsung, you get to benefit from this as well, because we'll just pay you. We'll pay you billions of dollars. Don't be surprised if Google pays Samsung millions of dollars to get this going. Just like Google pays Apple billions of dollars to get Google as their default search engine, right? Throw money at it. That's the answer for everything, which is sad. It's not how it should be. That's not how competition should work, but we might as well talk about this real quick. So, next week, Samsung Unpacked is expected to bring a trio of Android-powered devices. A new report this evening reveals that Google is in talks with Samsung to have Assistant and its other services play a bigger role. I just want to add this quickly in here. I'm not saying that Assistant is a bad thing. I'm not saying that. If I were to use any kind of AI right now on my smartphone, it would be Google Assistant. That's what I would be using. It works really well. I appreciate everything that it can do, but I just feel like there has to be better rules when it comes to companies and competition. That's all I'm trying to say here. So according to Bloomberg, the talks involve giving Google more control over search on Samsung handsets globally. This would result in Bixby being, quote, less integrated, while today's report says Google Assistant and the Play Store would get more promotion. Of course, tons of promotion. Samsung is seeking this major deal as a new source of revenue due to declining device demand amid COVID-19. In 2018, there we go. In 2018, Google was rumored to be paying Apple $9 billion that year to remain the default search engine in Safari on iOS. $9 billion. Can you just fathom that much money? $9 billion in 2018. How much did they give them in 2019? How much did they give them this year to keep it at to keep Google as the default search engine? Yes, I use Google. It's my main default search engine, but I'll never know if another company will ever create something as good or have an idea as good because it gets drowned out by money. It gets drowned out by money. And again, that's where I think this becomes an issue, because then we're talking about 2 or 3 big companies that, dominate the tech market, 2 or 3 big companies that dominate the telecom market, 2 or 3 big companies that dominate, like the banking industry and so on, the healthcare industry, so on and so forth. Like, this is all that keeps happening over and over until, it's just Coca-Cola and Disney who like run our lives. So I laugh, but there's probably some truth to that. The article sources correspondence viewed by Bloomberg News and details from a person briefed on the matter. I'm not really going to go through the rest of this. I think I've already said my piece when it comes to that. So I just thought I would share it because it was a good segue into the chat here. So I'll go back into chat. Really quick, guys, I'll say this as well. If you guys haven't had a chance, please hit that like button. I know that sounds cheesy, but it really helps me out. So if you get a chance, hit that like button. I do stream weekdays at 2 p.m. Central. So if you are not a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Why are you not subscribed to me? Am I that bad of a person? Do you not want to be part of the Phone Jerome fam? Am I that bad? Do you not want to sit here and listen to me babble to you for an hour about random news that I'm reading from a teleprompter called a monitor? Well, I'm really getting good at just speaking consistently. Hit that subscribe button is what I'm trying to say. And last but not least, if you are in chat and you notice people with green in their name and a red Chicago star next to their name, that's because they are part of the Phone Jerome fam. That is the wrong screen. There we go. You can be part of this fam too for as little as 99 cents a month. All you got to do is click that join button. You'll get the red Chicago star next to your name. You'll get to use custom emoji, and you'll get your name in every single one of my intros and outros during my live streams. Is that not enough for 99 cents a month? Do you want more? What else could you get? You get me here. I get to talk to you. I get to talk to you in chat. If you can't find that blue button, you can go to youtube.com/Phone Jerome/join. I'm getting really good at doing this. That's consistency, guys. You can be good at this too if you just did it every day for an hour and lost your mind doing this all the time. Kidding. Okay. Let me get back into chat. Either way, guys, I do thank you for your support always. Thank you guys for always stopping by. And even, I know times are tough, so even if you can't support that way, liking, subscribing, sharing, I appreciate all of that. So guys, thank you again so much. Okay. Let me get into chat here and then we'll break back into the stories. Hold on here. Just trying to make sure I get all this correct. There we go. Okay. So let me scroll up. Paul says that's the price of a small car. What, $2,000 for the whatever phones we're talking about, the Galaxy Fold 1980. Yeah, I mean, I can get a good used car. I'm selling my car because I'm moving back to the city. Anyway, can it drive? Yeah. No, not yet. Not yet. Okay, let me scroll down here. Google's just different. Brian says, knowing Google, they put a 3600 milliamp hour battery on their foldable. Uh, Max Weinberg 7. Yeah, that's what I should say. I should add the 7 at the end. People will get so confused. I'm gonna do that from now on. Thank you, Team Varai. J Mill says, I've been pretty good, just busy, funny as hell. Paul says, "Did you find time for IT crowd yet?" No, I didn't. And just because I'm packing and getting ready to move, and no, I haven't had time. But I will. I will watch that show. People have always told me to watch it. I know Kate, and Kate ended up super chatting yesterday, and she's like, "You got to watch the first episode." So I got to spend some time and do that. Big House Productions is in here. Big House Productions is in here. Hey, Jerome, stream. What's going on, Big House? Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. John is in here as well. Hi, I read an article that the OnePlus Nord is missing a band for US. Yeah, actually, where did I read this? So it is missing a couple bands, and I think there was even a little disclaimer for because I signed up for that beta to maybe get a free OnePlus Nord if I review it. OnePlus probably isn't going to give me one anyway, but I did it anyway. And I think there was a little blurb there that said, hey, if you end up getting this phone, there might be some connectivity issues because of some missing bands. So that also goes to show that this phone really isn't meant to be here in the US. I wouldn't be surprised. But John, welcome, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Welcome to the stream. How is everyone? I'm good. I believe everyone else is good as well. But John, thank you, man. Appreciate you stopping by again. J Mill says, never would have thought Google would have had assistant to anyone else, let alone Samsung. At the same time, I think it's a dumb idea. I don't know. I have very different feelings about many different things. But Mohammed Goose. Mohammed, please let me know how to pronounce your last name. Mohammed, welcome. Heyo. What's going on, Mohammed? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you chatting on Facebook. Appreciate you stopping by. Deepak Murthy is in here as well. Hello, hello. What's going on, Deepak? Did you make it yesterday? I can't remember. Just came back from work. Hopefully work went well for you. Deepak, appreciate you stopping by. Brian says, Jerome, I'm texting at a red light. Does that count as text and drive? Be careful, Brian. For you guys that didn't know, I talked about this yesterday. I was like, guys, don't text and drive. And then I showed a video of me riding my moped and I was on my phone while I was riding. Akshim Sukraj is in here. Hey, Akshim, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by as well. Bro, what about Loon phone? I don't know anything about the Loon phone. Do you guys know anything about this phone? I don't know anything about that. It's really good and cheap. Where is that phone available? Is that phone available? I'm pretty sure that phone is not available in the States, but I know nothing about that. Maybe I'll take some time and take a look at it. Actually, let me Google that right now. Looned phone. No, actually, I don't even see anything coming up for that. I don't know. You let me know, or what it's called, because I know nothing about it. Anyway, Akshin, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, man. Deepak says, what's up, Jerome? Brian, hello to you. Oh, I should answer that. What's up? Not much. Getting ready for my move. That's all I'm doing at this moment. Max Tech Studios. Hi, Jerome. What's going on, Max Tech Studios? Nice to see you, man. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Katswara Rao Pasupuleti. Katswara, what's going on? How you doing, man? Samsung phones US price is more than Indian rupees converted, while Apple's is more than Indian. Why? I have no idea. This is something that we talk about all the time. The same reason that OnePlus phones are cheaper in India than they are in the US. And that's why it's hard for me when the OnePlus 8 came out here to the States. I was like, it's so much cheaper in India. And then now the Nord is super cheap in India as well. And then I read an article recently about they do that because they're just trying to grab the Indian market and they want to they're selling these phones at a loss in India. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I have no idea. I don't know the reasoning behind why they do a lot of stuff. I don't know the business aspect of it, but your guess is as good as mine. I really wish they would just price it evenly and universally, but for whatever reason, they don't. Anyway, Kaswara Kataswara. Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you guys. Real quick too, I know I see a couple of you guys are coming in here from Facebook, which is great. I just want to give you an FYI. So tomorrow and Friday, I'm going to be in the middle of my moving. I'm moving to an apartment and I'm packing and everything. So tomorrow I will not be streaming live, but I will be premiering a kind of live stream kind of deal, but you'll only be able to catch that on YouTube. So if you guys who are coming from Facebook, please check me out on YouTube. You can just go to youtube.com/phone Jerome. I'll be premiering an episode on tomorrow and Friday at 2 p.m. And you can still chat in there, and you can super chat if you guys want to be generous. But yeah, it'll be like a live stream kind of, except I won't be there live, but you guys will still be able to chat with each other. Just an FYI for anyone who wants to catch tomorrow's show. I see Brian here with the $1 super chat. Brian, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you always. Guys, for anyone who supports this way, I really appreciate it. It helps offset costs for me. It helps pay for bills, and it helps with my move. Some of you guys have been so generous lately, and I really appreciate it. So Brian, thank you so much, man. Thank you. Okay. Brian says, do as Jerome says, not as he does. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Deepak says, yes, I was on the full show. Yes, Deepak, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. I think I'm just losing my mind. I have a feeling I'm just not keeping up anymore. Anyway, Paul says, wasn't it Cody or something you mentioned yesterday? Cody is no. Cody is the software that I use to run my RIP DVDs and my RIP Blu-ray media. I don't even remember what I was talking about. What am I talking about with Cody? I have no idea. Anyway, Muhammad says, bro, what about I don't know. I don't know if you're trolling me right now, Mohammed. It sounds like you're trolling me because I don't know what that means, but anyway, okay. I see. So you guys are trolling me. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Sede, am I saying that right? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, look at you guys trolling me. So I knew by that other one. I was like, I've heard this word before. I swear I've heard of it or I've read it before. But yeah, thank you guys. Okay. Deepak says here, Jerome, multi-streaming shows get super crowded, so it's difficult to keep track of everyone. I know it really is. And for you guys that don't know, I have been multi-streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at this point. So just trying to put all the platforms out there. God, I didn't think I was gonna get stuck. I didn't think I was gonna get trolled that way. Muhammad, thank you for letting me know. You guys are dicks. Okay, let's continue on. What do I got up next? We're gonna talk about the OnePlus 8T. Well, we're going to talk about the purported OnePlus 8T. So there's a leak on SlashGear that says this leak shows the way of the future. The next OnePlus smartphone was leaked in part by a benchmark test, weeks if not months before launch. The next OnePlus device was almost certainly going to be the OnePlus 8T if history served as guide for expectations in the near future. It's not that surprise that we're looking for here. It's the degree to which OnePlus will change the way they do business. This article is full of grammatical errors in the USA thanks to their launch of the OnePlus Nord. Last year, OnePlus released the OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 7T and the Pro versions therein. In the spring of 2020, OnePlus released the OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro. This fall, we have no reason to believe that OnePlus wouldn't release a OnePlus 8T and an inevitable OnePlus 8T Pro. I'm almost positive that the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro are going to get successors later this year. They're going to continue with their 6-month updates, and we're going to see an 8T and we're going to see an 8T Pro. The question is, are they going to raise the prices of the 8T and the 8T Pro? I said this before, but I am hoping that they will keep the prices the same for the 8T and 8T Pro, and they'll just drop the prices for the current OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro. So it says here the 8T leak this week suggested that this next OnePlus device would have a slightly improved processor, the likes of which we saw in the transition last year from OnePlus 7 to 7T. In this case, that means OnePlus 8's Qualcomm Snap 865 processor will get an upgrade in the OnePlus 8T to a Snapdragon 865 Plus. So like, okay, what is this OnePlus 8T going to look like? It's going to have an updated processor. So you're going to get the 865 Plus, probably have 128 gigs of internal storage. I would still imagine 8 to 12 gigs of RAM. I think really the only other upgrades you're going to get other than a processor is an upgraded, well, I don't even want to say an upgraded battery, but I would imagine faster charging. And then they got to do something about the camera, because I don't know how good the OnePlus 8 camera is, but I would imagine they would need to upgrade the camera there. Especially knowing the fact that the OnePlus Nord has the same camera as the OnePlus 8, and it really needs to now differentiate itself from the Nord. Unless the Nord is going to have a successor and they're going to put whatever camera on the 8T and they're going to put that in the Nord too. I think they're going to cannibalize their stuff if they end up doing that. I don't know. So the motherboard included with the smartphone is codenamed Kona and does indeed seem to indicate a very likely Snap 865 Plus designation. The OnePlus 8T and 8T Pro will quite likely get a slightly better set of cameras and ever so slightly faster charging abilities, is kind of what I mentioned there. At the moment, it would seem a safe bet to assume the 8T will retain at least 90 hertz image refresh display panels as well as 5G connectivity. It remains to be seen if OnePlus will work with carriers to release this phone on store racks in physical carrier store locations in the US. As noted by Phone Arena, the OnePlus 8T could be one of the first phones to launch with Android 11 right out of the box, depending on if OnePlus sticks to plan. So that's just about it when it comes to the OnePlus 8. Where did I have? I know I had another. Oh, here we go. So we're going to stick with OnePlus here. We're going to talk about the Nord. So I have this article from 9 to 5 Google that's talking about how the Nord is exhibiting display tinting issues. So it looks like some early OnePlus Nord models are already experiencing display issues, including purple tint and off-axis color problems. Reports have already appeared on Reddit, and official OnePlus forums include early adopters complaining about a myriad of display issues since receiving their OnePlus Nord pre-orders. Owners are complaining that when the AMOLED display brightness dips below 25%, darker portions of the display begin to exhibit color casts or tinting towards the lower half of the display. Given that the OnePlus 8 Pro was initially prone to similar problems, I believe Hackney Man owned an 8 and an 8 Pro and returned both of them because he was experiencing display issues as well. So they're saying here that it's not clear if it'll be resolved with software updates. A recent Oxygen OS OTA update has alleviated the green tint issues that some OnePlus 8 Pro owners had been suffering, but we're not actually sure issues on the Nord can be resolved with a software patch. So there's a video here showing that is a crazy kind of that doesn't seem normal at all whatsoever. As mentioned in our own review, at low brightness, we have noticed display issues and tinting problems when using the Nord. I've noticed issues with the display at low brightness on my device. When getting below 20% threshold, there are significant yellow or green tint issues on my particular unit. You can also see banding along the notched portion of the screen. I wonder where that banding is at, if they show it here on the notched portion. Anyway, I believe this might be a manufacturing fault with my device, but it's something to note. While frustrating, this problem only appears when auto brightness is enabled. Well, okay, yeah, while frustrating, this problem only appears when auto brightness is enabled, but I typically have auto brightness on my phone 99% of the time. To alleviate it, I often keep brightness set at 60% and have had no issues since. Yeah, but you want to have auto brightness on your phone. Come on. As you can see from the video above, this issue is very pronounced when using dark themes and in darkened environments. So I use dark themes all the time. I don't use white displays or anything on my phone. So for someone like me, this would be a big issue, especially because of using auto brightness and because I use dark themes on my phone. We found that brightness levels above 60%. We stopped seeing the display issues on our OnePlus Nord review units. This might not be a quote proper solution. No, it's not a proper solution, but it might alleviate issues should you see them now until an official response is forthcoming. I don't think that's a good band-aid issue. If I had that issue, if I saw that right away, I would be returning that phone in an instant. I would maybe try to get one more unit as a replacement and see if that fixed it. And if it didn't, I'd say, well, nope, this isn't going to work for me. We reached out to OnePlus for a comment. They provided the following. OnePlus Nord comes with a high quality 90 hertz AMOLED screen under specific circumstances of low brightness. Specific circumstances, you mean being under 60%? I feel like that's not, if it was under 20% or 10%, okay, but under 60%, a slight display discoloration may occur due to the properties of the AMOLED display. This is characteristic of all OLED displays, and the degree of discoloration will vary depending on other properties of the display. Well, from what we saw in that video, it looks like more than just slight discoloration. This is not a quality issue. Hey guys, here's your display on your OnePlus Nord. This is what happens when you go from light to dark to light to dark. This is not a quality issue. Not at all. Not whatsoever. OnePlus will continue to look into cutting-edge display technologies and strive to deliver the best user experience possible. We'll have to wait and see how the company responds to any potential complaints in the coming weeks, even if issues do not appear to be widespread. Yeah, that looks awful. I don't know how many people experienced that, or if they did they just return it and said, well, maybe I'll wait for the Pixel 4a or something better. But if that happened to me I could understand if it happened in much darker environments, like again, 20%, 10% brightness, maybe it wouldn't bother me as much. But if it's happening at a point where you're going under 60% and you're seeing it there, I think that might be a deal breaker for me. I think that might be a deal breaker for a good amount of people. So, okay. Anyway, what else did I have? Because I was going to get into chat here, but this other thing. Oh, okay. We're going to get into that in a second. So we'll talk about the upcoming OnePlus Nord whenever that happens. So, yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm just like figuring out where I'm going to go here. So Kodaswara is asking, when is Apple going to do a higher refresh display? Well, we thought it was going to come this year, and a lot of rumors now are saying that it's not. And I don't know if we're going to get one for the iPhone 12. I would love one for the iPhone 12, but from the looks of things, we might not be getting anything. It might be just another 60 hertz display. I was really hoping for, what do they call it? What does Apple call their higher refresh rate? They call it, it's 120 hertz refresh rate, but they call it something, how they have marketing terms for stuff. I was really hoping this year though, but I don't know. Okay. So let me see here. Yeah, Team Verizon says that would be surprising if they include that in the iPhone 12. There goes the Nord hype, I guess. That color shift is crazy. It really is. Considering the price of the device, I could let that slide for the most part. Yeah, and I agree. I could let that slide. But I think at a color shift under 60%, I guess I would have to see how bad that color shift is under 60%. Under 20%, whatever, I think it would be fine. But yeah, I'm not sure. Deepak says, I'm really getting tired of all these flaws. Should I cancel my pre-order of the Nord? You know what? Let's talk about this real quick, Deepak. It's man. Okay, so what do we know right now? First of all, 369 euros is a good deal for the OnePlus Nord. I think you got that at a good price, especially at that pre-order price, 369 euros. But so the display has a 90 hertz refresh rate, big display, looks pretty nice. But if it's going to have issues when it comes to color shifting, even at like a higher like brightness, then it might be time to rethink if you should be keeping that phone. I mean, if anything, Deepak, maybe, maybe like get the phone and then see how you like it. And if that display is really bothering you, then return it. But otherwise, if we talk about the other things that come with the phone, the battery, right? Big battery, good charging rate on it. The performance should probably be really good on it as well. A good amount of storage and RAM. So performance and all that's going to be good. But like Brian was saying in the chat, Dave 2D, I believe is his name on YouTube, did a camera test with the OnePlus Nord, and he did not have good things to say about it. So I guess it also depends on your prioritization when it comes to the camera. So that might be something to think about, Deepak. And what else were we talking about when it came to the Nord that had potential issues on it? The display here, the camera. The one thing that I keep forgetting to point out is the fact that the OnePlus Nord has a mono speaker. And I have a mono speaker on my Huawei P40 Pro Plus, and it is my biggest complaint on this phone. I love this phone, but I wish it did not have a mono speaker. That's the one thing that's been bothering me about that. So I guess let me put it to you this way, Deepak. If media consumption is important to you, and having those like media consumption using the external speakers, or in this case, one external speaker, one mono bottom firing speaker, if cameras are important to you, I don't know. I don't know if the OnePlus 8 camera is an above average camera, an average camera, or a maybe slightly below average camera. I think it's somewhere in that range. Well, that's a big range, but I don't have the phone, so it's hard for me to just, give you that recommendation. And then, then there's the display. And I think, again, that's just going to depend on your unit and how it fares for you. But I think at the end of the day, you can maybe still get it and then just return it if you really are having issues with it. Deepak also says display may have issues. Cameras are not so good. Audio is mono, no IP rating, no wireless charging. Deepak, I think you are trying to answer this question for yourself. Paul says here, can you return it? If yes, keep it and see. And then Deepak says, yes, Paul, Amazon Italy offers 30 days return policy with a complete refund. So maybe test it out, hold on to it, and then see if you like it. And if you don't, then you can at least tell us and let us know how it fares for you. I mean, if I end up getting one, if OnePlus is gracious enough, OnePlus, I know, I like how people will be like, so-and-so company, if you're watching, OnePlus, you're not watching. I know you're not watching my channel. You wouldn't watch my channel. Why would you watch my channel? I just sit here and I live stream news that other people are writing, and I read off of it and I give people my opinion. OnePlus, I know you're not watching, but give me the phone anyway so I can review it and probably give you a super late review because I've just been so busy lately, but give me one anyway. And then I can see how these problems arise, and I can give the audience a good thorough review of it. But let's go ahead. We're going to continue on here. We're going to talk about the successor, possibly, maybe not even a successor, but the US version of the OnePlus Nord. This article from Slash Gear says OnePlus Nord for the US might come in a different form. I think we talked about this briefly yesterday, and there was a rumor that this OnePlus Nord that might come in the States might not be a Snapdragon 765G chipset. Instead, it might be a Snapdragon 690. So a lesser version of what the current OnePlus Nord is. And if that's the case, I would be pretty bummed out about it. I don't want a lesser version. I want the 765G version. Don't give me a 690 and then price that at $400 because I'm just going to bitch and moan about that. I didn't mean to swear. Google, don't monetize me. I know you're not watching, but the algorithms are going to catch me swearing. So I've been good. Damn it. That's not really that much of a swear. Anyway, OnePlus's latest smartphone may have just eclipsed the high-end premium OnePlus 8 and 8 Pro. That despite its obviously mid-range specs and slightly worrying durability, the OnePlus Nord just seems to, oh, that's what I forgot to mention, is the fact that like jerry rig everything, bent the phone, and like, but whatever. You guys know how I feel about that. The Nord just seems to have the perfect combination of features and price for these uncertain times. Unfortunately, the Nord's launch details have left out US availability. The good news is that it will indeed be coming to the US. The bad news is that it won't be this OnePlus Nord. It's not that easy to delineate smartphone tiers these days, given how specs seem to cross the divide here and there. So Snapdragon 765G, marks it for something other than the high end, where a Snap 800 series would be required. In practice, however, we found that the Nord does just as well and for half the price as premium phones. It turns out that, quote, Nord is intended to be a brand, and this particular incarnation is just the first. That, unfortunately, still leaves open the question of when, now compounded by the question of what. A US-bound OnePlus Nord should pretty much have almost the same features and affordability as the international model. There are, however, some hints that another OnePlus Nord is in the works that has a 5G capable Snap 690 instead. If that will be what lands in the US, OnePlus better have a good explanation why it's downgrading the chip, or better yet, a better price tag than the current OnePlus Nord. I don't want this. I don't want this phone. If a OnePlus Nord, if a OnePlus Nord in the States is coming with a Snapdragon 690 and it's going to price at 400, no thank you. I won't buy it. I want a 765. I don't know what OnePlus is going to do. You know, I think they've already said that if the OnePlus Nord, the current one, came to the States, they would be pricing it for over $500, maybe $550. And at that price, I don't think it's worth it. At $400, I think it's a better price point. But yeah, I don't want a Snap 690. If it comes to the States and everything is exactly the same camera module, the same amount of RAM, and instead they put a 690 in there and they priced it at $400, I would pass on that. I would tell people to wait for the 4A, the Pixel 4A. I would tell people to wait for maybe a possible Pixel 4a 5G, or I tell people save your money and buy a Pixel 5 when that comes out. Although if a Google Pixel sold at $700, then I would say, well, maybe don't buy either of those phones. And I don't know what you would spend with your money at that point, because every phone lately seems like there's a compromise somewhere. And at that price point, at $400, $500, you have to compromise. And if you don't want to compromise, then you can spend $1,500 on a Galaxy Z Fold 2 Pro Max XQ 18G Plus. The times we live in. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let me scroll back up here. Kodaswara says, OnePlus keeps talking, quote, community, and this is how they reply when they hear an issue. Shame. It's a lot of marketing, and it's them, you know, trying to avoid the PR or negative PR. I don't know. I think actions speak louder than words, so we'll just have to wait and see what they end up coming out with. Deepak says, thanks, guys. Excellent advice. Glad that helped. Paul says, TCL, anyone? There you go. Yeah, but I you know what? I need to power up my TCL 10 Pro and give that another run. J Mill says, I give any company credit for replying at all. There you go. We don't have to like their response, but at least they do. Some companies don't respond at all. That's a fair enough point. It really is. You know, sometimes they won't even reach out for comment. So it's good that they say some stuff. I just wish that sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes their responses are very markety. I know that they're trying to like make sure that they don't tarnish their brand or their product. Yeah, I guess, how do you handle that kind of negativity? And like, how do you like make sure to not, you know, decimate the entire lineup then with things that are happening with that product? I'm sure it's still a good device. I think you just have to know that it's probably not going to have the best camera, and it might have display issues at a certain like brightness threshold. J Mill also says, I'm not surprised they would make a different version of the Nord for the US. We'll see what happens. That's all we can do is wait and see. So Flingshot Life, hey, what's going on, man? I don't think I've seen you here before. What would the difference be between those chipsets? Flingshot Life, are you asking between the 765G and the 690? I believe that's what you're asking. I think if anything, it's just going to be mostly performance, gaming as well. The GPU will be different in that chipset. So there's a distinction here. There's the 765G, and then the lower chipset before that is the 730G, and then there's something below that as well, which is like the 600 series, so the 690. I think we're just talking about pure performance here. There could be maybe a more hiccup when it comes to like lag on the phone. It could be a little bit slower. It could be a little bit slower when it comes to gaming, and maybe not as noticeable during app use, just normal like social media app use. But either way, you're getting a lesser product. You're getting lesser like performance, lesser power there. And I think that's where I draw the line. Like I don't want to sacrifice price on a phone to get a laggier phone. One of my big pet peeves is having a laggy phone. And while it might not be noticeable for some other people, owning higher flagship phones when they were at least somewhat reasonable with no lag, I don't want to revert to a slower phone at this point. So I can almost guarantee you that if a OnePlus Nord came with a Snapdragon 690, I would probably pass on that. I mean, my TCL 10 Pro is a Snapdragon 690, and it's surprisingly good, but it does have a bit of lag. I do notice a bit of slowness in the phone, and it's not something that like I'm going to deny. I was actually really impressed for how good the performance is on it, but don't expect it to be, like a powerhouse or anything like that. It's serviceable. It'll get you by, and I think most people won't notice, but for me, I'll just pass on it. It won't be for me. Deepak says here, oh, by the way, Flingshot Life, welcome to the stream, man. Nice to see you. Deepak says, why can't they release the same Nord for the US market? Crazy Chinese companies. Again, I think it has more to do with money. There has to be some kind of like money behind it, losing money or it not being as profitable. Maybe they're scared of like people not buying the OnePlus 8 here in the States instead. Who knows? I'm sure they have a whole team of people who look at the marketing behind that and then try to figure things out. Raf B, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Hey, did I miss any Pixel discussion? Of course you did. We always talk about the Pixel. There wasn't any big news on the Pixel though, but I think we did mention it here and there. I think I just mentioned it in terms of like Deepak was asking if he should cancel the purchase of his OnePlus Nord. But yeah, nothing really big when it comes to prices with that yet. Or yeah, nothing big on the Pixel. There isn't a ton of news on that lately. Hopefully there will be though, because August 3rd, I did talk about the Pixel yesterday, right? Or the other day. August 3rd is when the Pixel 5, not Pixel 5, sorry, is when the Pixel 4a should be coming out, according to John Processor. Yeah. That's what John Processor said. August 3rd is when they'll announce the Pixel 4a and maybe a Pixel 4a 5G or Pixel 4a XL. I don't know. It seems like John Processor's been getting a lot of rumor stuff lately. Him and Max Weinberg 7. I just really wanted to say both their names right now. Anyway, Rav B, welcome. Okay, we are in our hour here, and I'm trying to think of like where I want to go with this. Let's do 2 more. Okay, so this article from Tom's Guide, Brian sent me this article. Let me share this here right now. Tony, what's going on? Hello, Phone Jerome. Hello, Tony Pazzo. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the closing up stream. But Tony says John Processor. Yeah, I've been calling that for a while now. Anyway, Tony, welcome. Kadaswara says only way they can sell a 690 phone is time travel 3 years to the past. Yeah, I don't know. It's not for me. It really isn't. So this article from Tom's Guide is talking about the iPhone 12 prices just leaked for every model, and it's bad news. So Brian was kind enough to share this with me, and at first I was like, boo. And then he kind of pointed something out, and I'm like, okay, now I have to talk about it. So the iPhone 12 may start at $699, which is $50 more expensive than previous leaks. So I've talked about this before. There was the rumor that the iPhone 12 might come out at $649, which I think if it did, it would have killed. They would have really set the bar for a decently priced phone, and a very high-end phone at $649. And then when they said, oh, well, it might be $699 instead, I was like, or $699 instead, I was like, okay, well, it's still not so bad. But then when I heard a little more and got a little more news about it, I was like, okay, that's not, no, like I can't be on board with this. So it says here, while earlier reports have suggested that the iPhone 12 will start at $649, a new leak says that the 5.4-inch phone, 5.4-inch iPhone 12 5G will start at $700. That would be the same price as the 6.1-inch iPhone 11, but with a significantly smaller display. So here's the thing. The 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Max would start at $800. Worse, both the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Max are said to start with just 64 gigs of storage. This is where I have an issue. This is where my issue lies. 64 gigs of storage should be done, especially when we're talking about like higher end phones. This shouldn't be a thing anymore. I have my iPhone 11 Pro. I have 64 gigs of internal storage on that, and I'm running out of space on that thing all the time. 128 gigs of internal storage should be the minimum at this point. And to price the iPhone 12, a smaller version, mind you, the 5.4-inch one with a smaller battery, smaller display at $700, I think I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't recommend it at that price point. And then you're getting a 128 gig version at $750, and then that's most likely supposed to be 256 at $850. And then when we're talking about like the Pro versions, so the Pro version at least won't have a 64 gig version, which is like, okay, I get that. But yeah, now the price has gone up. So now it's not $1,000 anymore. Now we're talking $1,049 for the 128 gig version, and then up to $1,350 for 512 gigs. And if the rumors are correct on this as well, the 12 Pro Max, which apparently, so I think there's going to be a differentiator this year. Usually the 12 or the 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, it's the same phone, except just a bigger display, a bigger battery, and like previous ones have been similar, right? Nothing different. But from what I've heard, and I think Brian shared this as well, the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max will have additional camera sensors to it. Either the LiDAR is getting added to it, and I don't know what else. And that's something I have an issue with as well. I thought the 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max would still be identical, except one would have a bigger display and a bigger battery. But if that's not the case, then I myself might be spending more money and getting the 12 Pro Max to get the best out of the camera on there. But at that point, God, I'm looking at $1,150 for 128 gigs of internal storage. So it's just a ton of money for a phone. And I just, I don't know. It's a lot of money for a phone. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, yeah, it's still a rumor. We won't know for sure until like it's fully out. But until then, cross our fingers and hope that it'll be cheaper. But I'm pretty sure it won't. Okay. Tony says, I'm excited for the Pixel 4a. Me too, Tony. Team Pixel on deck. I really hope it's really affordable. $350 would be great. Yes, $350 is what I'm hoping for, and undercuts the iPhone SE too. Yes, I totally agree. I mean, I think even if it priced at $400, it would still, well, It depends if it's going to come out with 64 gigs. My hope is that the Pixel 4a won't even come out with 64 gigs, but knowing that it's a budget phone or a cheaper phone, that it probably will come with 64 gigs. So maybe, and like Y said this yesterday, but 64 gigs for the Pixel 4a 349, 128 gigs for the Pixel 4a 399, which I think would be fair. Okay. Yeah, Tony says they want you to buy cloud storage. I know. I mean, I have cloud storage anyway, but like yeah. So Jay Mill says, but you have the P40 Pro Plus. I do. And I spent $1,300 on it, and it's because I want the camera. And that's why, like, I'm like, I'm not saying I'm not gonna buy it. I'm just like bitching at the price because it's so expensive. And like, who knows how much money I'm gonna have when I move this August. My money's going to be very limited because, like, now I'm going to be paying $900 a month when it comes to rent. I'm going to be living in like a 350 square foot box. And like, I'm going to have to figure out what I can afford and what I can't afford. So yes, I know I have the P40 Pro Plus, and I know I spent a ton of money on it, but I need to do it for science and for the channel. All right, let me finish this off with this story for today. So the LG Velvet is coming with a Dimensity 800, or at least it's been spotted. Yesterday, I talked about how the LG Velvet was found with a Snapdragon 845 chipset, which kind of doesn't really make any sense to me. Why didn't LG use the Snapdragon 855 chipset instead? Yesterday I said, did they just have a bunch of 845 sitting around and they didn't know what to do with it? And they're like, yeah, let's put it in the Velvet. And then somebody's like, genius, raise $2 million. But so now the LG Velvet might come with a third variant. And so the LG Velvet right now comes with a Snapdragon 765G, which is what you find in the Nord, which is what's coming in the Pixel 5. And yesterday, they're putting a 2-year-old Snapdragon 845 chipset in there that doesn't have 5G. And now they're talking about putting a Dimensity 800 chipset, or at least it's been spotted. So LG's Velvet already comes in 2 versions. It appears a third is on its way. The rest of the available specs in the listing match the 2 other Velvets with an FHD Plus display, 6 gigs of RAM, and Android 10. The listing also contains an image of the device, though as can be expected, it shows no changes. It remains to be seen if the rest of the spec sheet will match the current 2 Velvets. I'm assuming it's going to be the same spec sheet, just a different chipset. To recall, they come with a 6.8-inch AMOLED triple cameras with a 48 megapixel primary shooter and a 4,300 milliamp hour battery. They forgot to say that it doesn't come with a quad DAC. So if you're an audiophile, do not buy this LG Velvet. There is also the fact that the LG Velvet sells for around $700 US for the Snapdragon 765G chipset. I think for the 845, the Snapdragon 845 is going to be like maybe $100 less, but either way, they're both still really expensive. What they're going to put in the Dimensity 800, I have no idea, but I think the LG Velvet's overpriced, and I could not recommend one because I just don't think it's worth the money. That's it. That's it. All right. Let me get into chat here. Brian says, do you think it'll beat the iPhone SE 2020? Oh, that's what you're saying with whatchamacallit, the Pixel 4a. Is that what you're saying? J Mill says, "LOL, I have to admit, these prices are out of control." Yeah, they're way out of control, man. It's too much, and I don't know how I'm even going to afford any of this stuff in the near future. I just don't think I'm going to have any kind of money for any of this stuff. I'm going to go broke trying to get a proper phone and test it out. Team Varai says, Jerome, that rent is OMG, dude. That's nothing. Team Varai, $900 a month for 350 square feet is nothing. Just to give you an idea, when I lived in LA 6 months ago, I lived above somebody's garage. I lived over someone's garage. It was a studio apartment, and that was maybe a little bigger. I would imagine that was maybe around 400 square feet. Again, living above someone's garage. So anytime they needed to use the garage, I would hear the garage door come up and down. I could hear everything from underneath. And that garage, the apartment I lived above it was full of spiders all day because I lived above a goddamn garage. I paid $1,200 a month for that studio in LA. So here in Chicago, $900. I thought I got a steal. And I picked a pretty, so like Chicago rent is actually not bad. If I lived even further outside like public transit, I could have gotten a 1-bedroom for that price. Probably even less than that. But I was trying to live in an even busier part of Chicago, but it was $900 for like, I think 275, 300 square feet. And I actually applied for that one first because I really wanted to live in that area there. But yeah. I'm sure it's a lot cheaper where you're at, and in other places it's cheaper as well. But like that's kind of the going rate for a studio apartment here in the city. Big House says, if the Pixel 4a is over 400, who's buying? Wait, $400 even, or over 400, like 450? If it was $429 with 128 gigs of internal storage, I would think about it. If it was $450 with 128 gigs of storage, I don't know if I would do that. I think $400 with 128 gigs of internal storage is pretty much the limit I'm thinking when it comes to the Pixel 4a. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question though, Big House. Jay Mill says, I really wish the Fold 2 had an S Pen. That's the only thing that's making me want to wait for the next gen. Do you think? Well, yeah, out of all the phones, that's where they should give an S Pen, right? Especially with such a huge screen. But maybe they just want to keep that S Pen for the Note 20, that's like the only saving grace for the Note 20. And if they did that, then yeah, I don't know. You think it's going to come out with an S Pen next year though? Maybe it would. Big House also says, I'm glad I held on to my LG G8X dual screen. I don't need the Velvet right now. No, I don't think it's the right time for a Velvet. Maybe wait for next year's iteration. Maybe they'll work on the price. Maybe they'll do something different. It's a lot of money for a phone. So, okay, guys. Anyway, I think that's it for today. Guys, remember, tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, I will not be streaming live, but I will have something for you. I'll be premiering an episode. So like you guys can still chat if you want to. You can super chat and do all that kind of stuff. And it'll be like it's live, and I'll pretend I'm saying hi to everybody. But tomorrow I will be busy packing. Friday will be no different as well. But I will be premiering those episodes on tomorrow and Friday at 2 p.m. Central. So it'll still be like it's a live stream in a way. Anyway, I do want to thank everybody. So feel free to check that out tomorrow. But again, yes, want to thank everybody today for stopping by. Thank everybody for stopping in chat. If you guys haven't had a chance, please hit that like button. If you are not a subscriber, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit that subscribe button, because why wouldn't you want to see more of me every day flooding your notifications? But yes, if you get a chance, hit that subscribe button. I do appreciate it. And I do want to thank all of my Patreon members. So people who have supported me and continue to support me on Patreon, as well as people who support me here on YouTube, my YouTube members. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chats as well. And I think that's it. So this is the last live that you're going to see here. So, be like, you're part of like this last stream live in this studio here. This studio, I'm in my mom's bedroom, her spare bedroom. You will see me in my new space coming Monday, but Thursday and Friday, you're still going to see me here, just not live. So anyway, Brian with another $1 super chat. Brian, thank you, man. Thank you again for the support. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate your support as always. And now you're recontinuing your super chat streak. So Brian, thank you, man. Thanks again so much. Okay, so let me get through chat, final chat here. Paul says, good luck moving. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. Deepak says, thanks, Jerome. See you soon. Stay safe, bro. Thank you, guys. Thank you again. Again, I'll be back tomorrow, just not live. Jay Mill says, be safe. Thank you, Jay Mill. Ruben is in here as well. Congrats on the move. Thank you, Ruben. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Nice to see you in here. Team Verizon, stay safe. Paul says, screenshot. What am I screenshotting? Am I screenshotting something? I don't know. Anyway, that's it for today. I got to get to work because I have a ton of work to do. What time is it? Oh, Jesus. Okay, I really got to get going. Guys, thank you again so much. Come back tomorrow for, a premiere episode. You guys can still chat in there, and I'll have that Friday as well. Anyway, you'll see how it goes. It'll be a little different, but it should still be fun. Maybe. Possibly. Okay, guys, here is my obligatory wave as I hit play. Have a good one, guys. See you soon. Bye.